I am very blessed to have Sami on with us today. And if you're listening or watching, I'm really excited to have her on and tell us her story of illness and healing in the process that brought her to Carnivore, and how the methods we're talking about, which are outside the standard box of medicine, might be something that we should all be listening and learning from. So, Sami, thank you for being here all the way from Japan.
Japan. Yes, beautiful. I'm from Japan.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you managed to get to this carnivore world, and a little bit about your diagnosis and your health issues that you've been dealing with.
All right. I'm from Japan. I'm Sami. And the unique thing about me is that, as you already, that Dr. Kilt mentioned, that I'm a cancer patient. But a unique thing about me is that I have to mention this first.
Please.
I'm not cancer free. Majority of the cancer survivors in this community, low carb, keto, carnivore, they say, "Oh, I put the cancer in remission. Oh, look, I have no cancer, but I am not cancer free. I am living with cancer." This is my first disclaimer. Doesn't mean that I'm suffering from something. I have zero symptom. By the way, my title is a stage 4 colon cancer, terminal cancer patient. All right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have zero symptom. I'm very strong. I'm very healthy. The healthiest cancer patient. Oxymoron, right?
Yeah.
Healthy cancer patient, doctor. That even I haven't gone to the hospital more than for a year. I haven't seen them.
Whoa.
Yeah. The reason is because, here's the reason. I do have 2 metastases.
Mm-hmm.
One was in my liver. That was discovered soon after my big surgery. I got the diagnosis 3 years ago, 2021 April. And in May, I have a big operation where half of my colon and 1/3 of the liver and 4 lymph nodes and appendix, all of them were out.
Wow.
Soon after that, doctor, I've been on the harsh chemo, and months 2, they discovered new metastasis in my liver.
Wow.
I gained the understanding of the fact that how less effective the modern approach can be. Mm-hmm. I don't say it's useless, but right. In my case, didn't work, doctor. This is one metastasis still going on my liver. Doesn't mean that it causes some symptom zero. And the second metastasis was actually a year ago. Mind you, still I've been on a carnivore, but I developed the metastasis. Why? It's going to be maybe later on, because if I start to talk about nitty-gritty part of the new metastasis in my liver, it's going to take maybe 1 hour. So keep it.
That's okay. That's okay. If not today, we'll make sure we get these things talked about in one way or another.
All right. If you want to know the reason, of the new metastasis in my lung, despite of the fact that I was on carnivore, is this. After the big surgery 3 years ago, previously already I had been on carnivore 5 years.
Oh, wow.
5 years. Okay. And I got the diagnosis. That is why I wasn't depressed, because I knew what I'm doing is good for cancer treatment or management, I should say. But because of my energy coming from the fatty beef, my energy went through the roof. Totally, I forgot about the fact that I was a cancer patient. So my focus should have been cancer management. But my focus wanted to be big. Hypertrophy. Doctor, to achieve this hypertrophy, dietary intervention should be increase uptake of protein, high protein. And I did that. I'm a very tiny person. I'm a 5'2" and a tiny human being, but I was achieving the 200 gram of the protein a day, even being like a carnivore. But I achieved that. And also, here's the important part: achieving a high protein by eating just beef is expensive, right? That's why, doctor, I incorporated pork, chicken, fish, eggs into my diet to achieve the high protein without breaking the bank. So
it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It should be okay, doctor.
Yeah, I think so.
What I noticed was that, let me talk about the biology of ruminant animals and monogastric animals.
Please.
Ruminant animals are the ones that they have 4 stomach chambers. They digest food slowly to the point that they can detoxify some of the unwanted elements from their diet, right? And this day, conventional way, we raise them. We're gonna kind of dump the like a corn and so on in the wheat and sprinkling the glyphosate the end of their life. But because of the slow digestive system, they can detoxify that to some extent. In contrast, when we eat monogastric animal, hence the name, one stomach, meaning that what they eat, it's going to reflect on the flesh. Normally, doctor, as you already correctly mentioned it, we are okay with that. We have each own like a detoxification system. That's why I have to say this very loudly. You can eat pork, chicken, fish, eggs, and whatever it is. But some people, like myself, I must say I'm immunocompromised because of the nature of the disease. I may have immunological response or inflammatory response to eat monogastric animals.
Chicken, fish, pork,
eggs. Yeah, these kind of things can be triggered. And why did I notice is that when I check the GKI number stands for glucose keto index. For cancer treatment, low glucose, because cancer likes glucose, and high ketones, cancer cannot utilize ketone, is beneficial. When I eat fatty beef, whatever the beef source coming from, conventional way, I can achieve high ketones. But when I eat gastric animals, I don't know which is bad, which is good. But anyway, my ketone production stops. That's my realization. Again, I have to say this. Everybody now eating the chicken drum, don't drop it. It is good for you. Only, people who have a sensitivity or of kind. Would you agree, doctor?
So what your experience was that by eating the ruminant meats, you think it's better than eating the monogastric, correct?
Yes. And, in my biology.
And do you think for yourself that by not eating just ruminant meat, you may have increased your exposure to certain toxins that may have contributed to your cancer?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say. My cancer. Okay. Thank you very much, doctor.
I'm just trying to clarify. I apologize. Yeah. I may not have understood that completely.
No. Definitely no. This is actually the question that I keep getting asked is the fact that, oh, Sami, you are eating, red meat, ruminant animal, 5 years. Oh, you got the diagnosis. Do you think that it's eating red meat contributes to cancer formation? Hell, no. I have to mention this, doctor. My cancer formation was in my 20s. Okay, I'm a 21. So long time ago, where this is one of the consequences of eating disorder, laxative abuse. three to five buckets of fruits and vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
That's that long time irritation caused cancer formation in my ascending colon.
So your early years diet was mostly plant-based and low fat, most likely.
Zero fat.
Yep. And you also experienced some eating disorder practices, laxatives, and things like that, that likely also contributed to the damage that happened years ago.
Exactly. When I was 6 years old, I became a vegan kid, not because I wanted to save the world, to go vegan. No, the reason was because at that time, doctor, I was having a lot of skin issues, especially the hives was covering up my body. And we went to, by the way, I was raised by a single mom. And the thing is that we went to the dermatologist. She decided that the reason I was having a skin issue is because of the fact that I was eating animal flesh. So I had to be a vegan. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
How could I survive?
Well,
So,
and obviously way back yesterday, not too long ago, because you're very young.
yeah, just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
No.
And even still today, the message is whatever diseases you may be suffering from can be repaired on a plant-based and or a vegan diet
Yes.
by many doctors and many standard professionals, is that most people aren't sharing the carnivore way. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about when and why did you start carnivore, and how did it help you when you started it?
Thank you. The thing is that, as I mentioned, I was severely suffering with eating disorder, life-threatening purging, where I took a 250 laxative a day. Right. And I went to the psychiatrist back then when I was 15 years old. Despite the fact that the psychiatrist had published many books which were all about mental health. But guess what, doctor? He didn't know anything about bulimia. I was bulimic. And that my realization was that, doctors didn't know anything about this condition. So this is a time that I started to study human biology, biochemistry. I took a correspondence course to gain the knowledge. And that is why 2015, 16, somewhere around, I was able to come across many articles which were all about ketogenic diet. Ketogenic diet, originally designed for children with epilepsy.
Yes.
Here's the interesting part. I had been given anti-epilepsy, anti-seizure drugs for decades for eating disorder cure management from my psychiatrist. I don't know why, how it works. Then I thought about that. Ketogenic diet has an anti-seizure effect. I'm taking an anti-seizure drug.
Right.
Maybe it might work. And it worked. Even I was plant-based ketogenic dieter because of the fat. Finally, my fat-deprived brain lit up completely. That was a discovery of the ketogenic diet. 2016, before the ketogenic diet becoming a thing. And then, but a ketogenic diet helped my psychiatric conditions, eating disorder, depression and stuff. But ketogenic diet didn't help my GI issues, especially bloating. My tummy was pregnant lady.
Wow.
So big. And then it was 2017, 18, somewhere around. I came across a zero carb diet. It was going to be called carnivore diet because of the Dr. Shaw Baker. And I tried that. That was a true game changer. That my bloating disappeared. Only day one, carnivore. And I dove into it. And then Dr. Sean Baker becoming so popular and advocating ribeye, beef, and I dove into the lion diet. This is my discovery or embracement of carnivore diet.
And did you notice the benefits right away? And
Yes.
you mentioned tell us a little bit about some of the symptom benefits that you had.
Yes. This is something before my diagnosis. I was innocent enough to not know my cancer yet. 3 benefits the carnivore diet brought me from, I was plant-based ketogenic dieter to carnivore. I've got the 3 benefits. Number 1, as I mentioned, my gastrointestinal issues melted.
Wow.
And especially the bloating was absolutely, I can't say enough, really, really, game changer. And a second benefit is my energy level. Because of that, my, like a nutritious deprived life, being a vegetarian or vegan, I was devoid of many, many nutrients and micronutrients, all of that. But a carnivore provided me everything. So my energy went through the roof. And this is the time, doctor, I started to do exercise. You don't like, exercise too much.
Exercise is good, but exercise, especially excessive, is a contributing factor to inflammation, which leads to many people's diseases. So this idea that human animals should be exercising, we have to realize that it could be some of the reasons of friction, increased temperature, and cardiovascular issues that maybe cause some problems that people don't realize.
Yes. Actually, exercise is a stressor.
It is a big stress.
How do you execute? Big one, especially weightlifting, which I love.
But exercise can help people that are stressed, especially mentally, emotionally, to take their mind off of the stressors. Because most people just ruminate on their problems all the time. And so most people, I always say, get a hobby, focus on helping people, do something in life, because for the first 3.5 million years, you did something and you didn't focus on just ruminating on your problems. Which is kind of what we do today. So that's why I think exercise is one of those things that gets your mind onto something different.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily. Yes, it doesn't necessarily to be exercise. You are going to find something you are to get into, not related to your health issue. You don't need to split the hair about your illness all the time.
Do a podcast and interview people around the globe and talk about ways of helping all of us improving our lives. That's something that I find really amazing and valuable, that I either listen and watch, or I'm talking to people from around the globe, because we're all the same around the globe. So it's about doing something rather than sitting around and moping around. Gee,
sounds
I'm
good.
bored. Life is not fair.
Lovely.
Got troubles.
Sorry. I was talking about the benefits. Second benefits that something went through the roof. Energy.
I think exercise has great benefits, but you just have to be careful, because I used to exercise a lot and I had shoulder, back, joint problems. When I slowed down or stopped, and when I focused on my nutrition and my mindfulness, I was better than ever.
Right. Beautiful. But before that, I was absolutely emaciated.
Yeah.
Now being carnivore, of course you're gonna go to expend your energy. So this is a benefit 2. The last benefit 3, is the intermittent fasting. 2017, 18, somewhere around, Dr. Jones was the Jason Fung, the godfather of the intermittent fasting. It became kind of popular. Then I wanted to try it, being a plant-based, not carnivore, plant-based ketogenic dieter.
Right.
I have tried that. But for me, longer than 40 hours, just 14 hours of daily fasting is too much. I couldn't make it. I was jittery almost. But being on carnivore, you don't need to count oh, how many hours I'm going to have to fast. It's a natural, right, doctor?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. So we're withdrawing. See, the plants are the drugs and the chemicals that you are withdrawing from, and they want you to consume them. And so it's easy to not eat when you're on a fatty meat-based diet, but it is definitely harder to fast when you're on a plant-based diet, in my opinion.
Very difficult. But doctor, here's the interesting thing. At that time, I was, subscribed to Dr. Steve Gundry's and Mark Hyman. They are brilliant. But
Yes.
they were kind of advocating olive oil. I drank olive oil. And my calorie intake at the time was almost 4,000, ridiculously high, majority coming from plant oils.
Mm-hmm.
But I was hungry.
Yeah.
Where the fat is going to? I was so mesmerized that biochemistry is so complicated, but actually simple. If you eat the animal fat, that's going to take care of you.
Well, it is. So plant oils are chemicals that the plant makes. Obviously, there's saturated, unsaturated fats within the oils, but there are also a lot of fat-soluble chemicals that I think the plant manufacturers that have adverse effects on our bodies, just like they have adverse effects on insects, microbes, and other organisms that want to eat the plant. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But plant-based people, they say that, these are chemical, that antitoxins and, something phytochemical, whatever it is, they take it as a medicinal effect that's going to get you healthy. But I digress. I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree with you that I don't know what an antioxidant really is. We have not.
But they say that.
We've all been taught that, but ultimately, we haven't found the mineral, even the supplement. I'm not even sure in any of the supplement world, even in the organ meats or the liver meats, and I sell supplements. I'm not sure we have an absolute requirement for any of that if you eat a animal-based diet. Now, I do eat some of the organ meats, but I'm not sure it's required because all the minerals and vitamins are in the fatty meat. The anti-nutrients are in the plants, which we're highly allergic to, and they're the plant sugars and the chemicals and the antigens, which are damaging to our body. So
yes, I agree upon that. Doctor, when I'd like to talk about the supplementation later on, when I finish the animal fat and plant oil, this topic, all right?
Please.
Okay. And in terms of the animal fat versus plant oils, when we think about human evolution, for millennia, since dawn of humanity, we relied on the animal fat for consumption or moisturize everything. The plant oils is a really, really newly intervention. Even 100 years ago or 200 years ago, you had to be very rich enough to have a servant to squeeze olive oil. It's not the big, the portion. There is no such a thing. That's why our body knows how to process, digest, absorb animal fat. But our gene hasn't changed for centuries. That's why I kind of fat profile.
Yeah, the exposure. So all plant oils are industrially produced. But when you eat an animal, especially a fatty animal, and you eat the fat, that's nature's fat that you didn't have to process in any way to extract it, bottle it, and eat it. Because ultimately, our industrial methods, along with the onset of peasants, slaves, soldiers, and prisoners, allow the industrial manufacturing of many of these plant products and oils, which did not exist for thousands, millions of years until the recent 10,000 years, whatever that number is, like palm oil, olive oils, but those were all required large control of massive peoples in order to plant and harvest and then industrially produce them.
Yes. How unnatural
Completely
it is.
unnatural.
Right.
And I mean, ultimately, our evolution by developing a plant-based agricultural, more sedentary communities, it enabled us to expand human numbers tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
Our
Yes,
communities
yes, yes.
enlarged.
The
And so
population
we
grew.
weren't in hunter gatherers, and I don't know how much gathering we did most of the year, but
Nothing together back then.
right,
Ice
right,
ages.
right. And you know, if I had to go out in nature right now in just a later winter, certainly spring is on its way. I probably still wouldn't find much collectible plant material to eat as a hunter gatherer. But you know, we're in a whole different world today.
Yeah.
That still people can eat some plants if they focus on mostly fatty meat, cook the plants well, make sure they're the least toxic, and eat less frequently. I think we can be healthier.
Yes,
But
yes.
definitely carnivore sort of takes it up
Foundation.
and significantly eliminates or reduces the plant toxins that may affect some people more than others. Would you agree?
Right. Absolutely, completely. I just add that what you said is that ancient wisdom kind of found out a way to reduce the toxin by fermentation, soaking, jamming, cooked kind of out of the death to eat that. But modern life, we wouldn't even we appreciate a fresh vegetable, fresh, you know, the salads and smoothies and oh my goodness, what you are doing, you know.
But we're realizing today there seems to be much more disease, but there still was some of these diseases in our past evolution. But we are simply eating too much, too frequently, and too many plants, and even lean meat because we're not eating fat. Would you agree?
Yeah, doctor, thank you very much. I wanted to talk about a high fat, you know, carnivore, the importance of it.
Yeah,
You know,
please.
yes, there is some kind of a trend that many health influencers, health gurus, doctors on internet, they kind of started to talk about high fat, no, high protein. Protein gives you satiation, longevity, you know, like a wrinkle disappear, all of that. They say that high protein. But how important to consume fat is very, very important. That's why I love that your food philosophy to focus on the high fat contents, as we talked about. You know, in my opinion, true satiation is coming from fat.
Correct.
Right? If they say that, hey, eat that lean meat, you know, that's gonna make you full faster. Yes, it's because of the fact that, you know, it feels like it's gonna get bored. You know, like a taste palate is going to get bored. That's why you stop eating. But 3 hours later, 4 hours later, you will realize that you'll be hungry again. In contrast, you eat enough fat that satiate. You know, satiation lasts way, way longer. You don't need to think about the food for hours and hours. Right. That's gonna set you free from the food, like obsession that they are missing, in my opinion.
Well, if people understood the metabolism, the digestion and metabolism of food, when we eat food and it breaks down to proteins, amino acids, carbohydrates, sugars, and adipose tissue into fatty acids, the amino acids and the sugars go to the liver, and via insulin in the liver, they're converted to fat. They're really metabolized very similarly. Plus, amino acids really are more sugar-like, rather
Mm.
than
Oh,
anything
interesting.
else. So
Mhm.
this idea that somehow the amino acids are going to make proteins right away,
Mhm.
it just doesn't make sense. Like, what protein is your body saying, oh, here are the amino acids, let's make proteins? Our
Mhm.
body makes fat.
Mhm.
Fat is the most important tissue for you to build, because if you do not,
Thank you.
you are dead. And my bet is our low-fat diet is the contributing factor to much of our disease,
Yes,
which
agree.
is really, just name them.
Mhm.
And when you eat fat, it goes to the lymphatics,
Mhm.
where it's sent to the circulation, and
Mhm.
it's sent to all of your cells and adipose tissue in order to be utilized as energy and or stored in adipose tissue.
Mhm. Mhm.
Glucose nor amino acids are your direct mitochondrial energy. They must be converted to fat in the liver or you die.
Oh, I
So
see.
my theory is the simple function of the liver is to make fat out of
Mhm.
amino acids and sugars via insulin.
Mhm.
If you have
Yeah.
no insulin or a highly damaged liver, you cannot make fat. You
Mhm.
become emaciated and skinny, and you're at risk of
Ah,
death. Dr. Rob Kiltz, another beautiful, spectacular day. And I just want to send thanks to all of those for watching the newest episode of Carnivore Conversations. Be sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, and other streaming platforms to gain access to the full 1-hour episode. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more to come. God bless.